Hello, Bill here at Pale Horse Survival and Tactical. Welcome back to another episode. Today, I'm going to make some, reverse wrap some cordage out of yucca fibers. And I have some yucca leaves that I harvested. And I just got through processing a leaf, and I'll show you how I do that in a little bit. First of all, here's some fibers here from a leaf I just got through processing, and what I'm going to do is, I've got 5 pieces in here, so I'm going to make pretty thick cordage out of this. So what we do is, we don't, when we reverse wrap cordage, no matter what material you're making it out of, don't bend it directly in half to where the ends meet up even at the bottom here. What you want to do, you want to stagger them. You want to move off to the side here, and you can see how one side is longer and one is shorter, and that's going to allow us to put splices into this to make it longer. If you have the edges even and you try to splice, it's going to be a lot weaker piece of cordage. So we're going to go ahead and start about here and reverse wrap. Let's take it and start twisting and twist. Till it kinks. See that kink? It kinked over right on itself. Take that kink and pinch it. This one we're going to twist and grab the bottom wrap. The one you twisted goes over the top. Hold that with your thumb and index finger. Twist and over the top. Twist and over the top. What happens is this locks in on itself and prevents it from unraveling. Twist over the top. See your cordage? That's all there is to it. It's called a 2-strand wrap. Twist and over the top. Over the top. Yucca makes a really strong cordage. So strong, in fact, you can use it as a bowstring. Now, I've only processed one leaf. So as soon as I get down to the end here, I've got some more fibers on the stump over here, so I'm going to go ahead and show you how to do a splice. And then I'll show you how to process yucca leaves. And then I'll cut this so you're not going to sit for the next 20 or 30 minutes watching me wrap this fiber, and I'll show you the finished product. Okay, see, we're down. See how they're staggered? You don't want the splices to be exactly opposite from one another. That creates weak cordage. So this is just about ready for a splice. You want to have a few inches on here, and here's what we have so far for cordage. So let's go ahead and I'm going to grab these pieces over here. I have a little thing of water here, and that's to keep my fingers wet. Cordage is a lot easier. You always want to work with it when it's moist. It's a lot easier to deal with. And this is the outer layer of the yucca leaf that I put in here, and I'm going to show you why I put it in the water here in a little bit. But I always wet my fingers to keep the cordage moist. Okay, here's the fibers. We're going to take these fibers and get the edges even here. And I've got water. I've dipped my fingers in the little cup of water down here. So what we're going to do is cinch this piece up here, make sure it's nice and snug. We're going to take these pieces, we're going to set them into the splice here on the short end, right on top. Actually, I'm going to put it over here on this side. On the outside, just lay it in, stick it right up in the crotch here, and then twist the two together, your original short end and your new cordage here. Twist it together and over the top. Twist it and over the top. Oftentimes this will create a little fatter area in your cordage, and there's your splice sticking out. And when the cordage is done, we'll come back and we'll slice these off and clean the cordage up. Twist over the top. Twist over the top. Twist and over the top. Here's where our splice was. That'll be snipped off. And I'll do this for just a bit till I get down towards the end here, and then I'm going to show you guys how I prepare the yucca leaves for cordage. See, we're now right at the end of this. Reach the end of that short little tail where we originally started. Now that's getting blended into the cordage now. Twist over the top. Just keep everything tight and clean. Twist and over the top. See, now we're down to a short tail here again. This is our splice that we stuck in. Here's our cordage. This will be snipped off at the end when we go back. These little pieces, these will all be snipped off to make the cordage nice and clean. So now we're getting down to the end here. So we're going to go ahead and process another leaf so we can get some fresh cordage here. Actually, I'll probably process a couple here. So let's get over here and get started on this. Put this up here. I'll turn the screen around so make sure you guys are in frame here. Yeah. And I'm going, the main thing when you're processing the yucca leaves, you're just scraping off the outer layer to expose the fibers. And you don't want to use a sharp knife blade. It's real easy to ruin these fibers. Use something blunt. You can use the back 90-degree edge of a knife, the same as you would use to strike a ferro rod. I'm going primitive today. I'm using a piece of flint, not the sharp edge. I'm using the back edge here, which has a sharp edge on it, but it's not as sharp as a knife. Basically what you do is, I start in the middle here and just start scraping. And as soon as you can see the fibers, you've gone far enough. You don't want to over scrape. Start tearing those fibers up. It's real easy to damage this. You want to be on a smooth surface. Now I'll give you a close-up here in a sec here. Get down to the end. Take the piece of flint. I'm going to cut that sharp thorn off the end of the yucca leaf. I'm going to drop this skin that I have scraped off into the cup of water, and I'm going to show you in a while why I do that. And here's the fibers, all those white fibers. That's what we're looking for. And those are very, very, very strong. And then here's what we have to scrape off. Just scrape until you see the fibers. Now the lower end of the leaf, not the upper outer area, but the lower end is really thick. So what I do, I go up and I cut it. Oh, I don't know, right about here. You can feel where it really starts to get thick. This is, you could still use it, but it's not, it's hard to roll it. So I usually cut it right about here. This is really thick. So this feels pretty good about here. So we'll cut that and discard it, and that leaves all of this to make cordage out of. Take a piece of flint. You can use a knife blade. I'm just going primitive today. And there we go. And that puts us down into the thinner area here. So let's finish, continue to process this. Just until we see the white fibers. And the nice thing about yucca, it has kind of a sticky juice to it, which is really cool for the cordage making. It really makes the fibers stick together nicely. Down here on this thicker end, we can press a little harder, kind of break that down so it's a little more pliable. And one side is done. We'll flip it over. It's the side we've done. Flip it over. Continue on the other side. I always start in the middle and work my way to one end. And as you scrape this outer layer off, you'll notice it gets a lot thinner, much more pliable. If you're not sure how to identify yucca, look on my channel here, and you'll find the yucca identification video. I do a pretty thorough identification video on it. That should help anybody with needs to know how to identify this. Okay, there's both sides, and it's really thin now. Before it was stiff. Here's an unprocessed leaf. You can see how rigid it is. And here's the piece that we just processed. You can see how much thinner it is and how much more pliable the leaf has become. This one, very thin. I mean, I could hold it up here on my finger. It's not going to fold in half like this one. So this is what we want. And what I do is to process this, just grab it here in the middle and just separate, pull. Now we have two pieces. Grab this again in the middle of the leaf, and pull. And now we can, this is really pliable with the outer layer off, now we can roll this into cordage. So since I'm going for a thick cord here, I'm gonna quarter this again, about midway down the leaf and in the middle, and just grab it, it pulls right apart. It's very, very easy to do. Wet your fingers, always easier. You want to keep your project moist while you're working with it. So since this is quartered now into 2 pieces, and I'm going to go ahead and jump back here. I'll show you this here. We'll get started again, and then I'm going to pause. I don't think you guys want to sit here for the next 30 or 40 minutes while I do this, watching me process. So I'm going to show you the most pertinent parts here. Okay, so now we have our cordage that we were working on. Here's our short end. This is our longer end, so we need to splice in, and I like to leave a couple of inches here. That way we have a lot of material to braid into the cordage. It lessens its chances of coming loose. So we'll go ahead and we've got the 2, these are the half of the leaf, 2/4. Just match up the ends. What I do, I put an outboard piece, in other words, the part that faces outward. And actually I got them backwards here. Here we go. This is the end, the outer end that's thin. This would be towards the base of the leaf. In other words, here's the outer part here and the base. So I flip-flop them because it's a little bit thicker down here. So I don't want to put 2 thick ends together and then 2 thin ends together. So with cordage, it's always good to flip-flop, and it keeps makes your cordage a little more symmetrical. And again, we're going to take this, we're going to stick this in here, right up into this crotch here. And we're going to twist these 2 together, and then we're going to grab that lower strand and twist it over the top. Twist, over the top. Twist, over the top. Twist, over the top. Just takes practice. Twist and over the top. And most primitive cordage is going to vary just a little bit in thicknesses as you splice stuff in, and that's okay. It's primitive. It doesn't have to be perfect. As long as it's functional, that's the main key. So that is the basics here, and at this point I'm going to go ahead and pause you guys, because it's not going to take me very long to get down to the end of this cordage here, and I'm going to go ahead and splice another piece in because it's already getting pretty thin. I've got a thick piece over here and pretty thin here, so I want to maintain the strength of the cordage. I'm going to go ahead and start splicing some pieces in. So I'm going to go ahead and pause you guys and work on this for a while. You know how to do the splices, processing, and the reverse wrap. So from here on out, it's just monotonous. It's just repetitious actions. So I'll pause you guys, and I'm going to go ahead and finish this cordage out, and I'll check back in when it's time, when the cordage is done. I'm going to make a cordage probably around 2.5 feet long or so, and I'll cut back in and show you guys how to clean up all these splices here, and we'll go ahead and wrap the video up. So stay tuned. I shall return. Okay guys, welcome back. I've been working on this thing for about, I don't know, probably about 30-40 minutes or so, and I've saved the bases of the yucca leaves that I've cut off here. I've used 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 yucca leaves, and after about 40 minutes worth of work, this is where I've got probably it's about 6 feet of cordage here. Here's where I originally started, I've already cut all the splice ends off, and anything that's sticking out your splices, just take a knife blade or a sharpened piece of flint, stick it on your cutting surface, and just cut as close as you can to your cordage without getting into your cordage. That's all it is to it. Just go through and clean it up. This is like this little piece here. I could have cut a little closer. You don't have to get too crazy with it. And this is about 6 feet of cordage. Here's one that I still need to cut off. Just cut it right up against your cordage right there. Snip it off. And then in the end, when you reach your end, when the desired length of cordage that you want, just tie an overhand knot into the end, and that'll keep it all from unraveling. And tighten that knot up a little bit here. There we go. And that's all there is to it. And I'm going to use this piece of cordage. While I'm here, I'm shooting another video here in just a few. I'm going to make a bow drill kit, completely primitive, using no modern tools, and I'm going to use a piece of privet for the hearth board, and the spindle will be California Buckeye. I'm going to use all stone tools and flint to construct this, and this is going to be my bowstring. So you guys can go ahead and look for that video on the channel here. I'll be uploading that and publishing this video and the primitive bow drill video at the same time onto the channel. And if you need any help with identification of the yucca plant, I've already done an identification video. It's on the channel right now. You can go through there and find that one. And oh, one last thing I want to show you guys. Almost forgot. That's what happens when you start getting old. Memory starts to go. The outer layer of the yucca leaves, I scraped them off and I threw them in here with the water. And as I said, the water serves another purpose. I keep my fingers wet while I'm cording. All primitive cordage making is much easier if the material is moist. And but anyways, I threw it in here. Yucca contains sopanins, which is bushcraft soap, and the roots contain the highest amount, but all parts of the plant has sopanins in it. And you wouldn't want to dig the plant up specifically for the root and kill the plant. That's not ethical or responsible if you're looking for the sopanins. So it's easier to harvest a leaf or two and scrape the outer layers off, stick them in water, and we'll suds this up here. You can also make a bath scrubby out of the fibers. See that sudsing up? It's a natural soap. Nature provides everything we need out there. You just have to know how to utilize it. That's all. There you go. It's bushcraft soap. You scrape the outer layers off the leaves, separate those tiny fibers down, and they're very tough. You get a nice clump of them, and you can use that as a bath scrubby, or use it as a pot scrubber. Clean up your camp cookware and everything. And but this is perfect. Dip your scrubby in here. You wash your hands, wash your body, your hair, and it does everything that the store-bought soap will do. Heck, you can even clean your laundry with it. If you guys enjoyed the video as much as I did making it, please like, subscribe, and share. Definitely appreciate your viewership and support, and working real hard to build the channel here. Many more videos upcoming. Got a ton of videos in the works, so little by little as I get time I'll get them done. So everybody have a great day. I'm going to get started on that primitive bow drill kit here in just a few minutes. You guys have an awesome day. I'll see you shortly. Take care. Bye-bye.